Kelly Holland, 28 years old, married Summer Holland, 22 years old, in December of 1999. Kelly had 2 children from a previous marriage, 4-year-old Dylan and 3-year-old Marissa. Kelly worked at the Kroger Distribution Center in Louisville, Kentucky, which is a little over 30 miles from their home in Corydon, Indiana. Corydon, Indiana is located in Harrison County, north of the Ohio River. It has a population of a little over 3,000 citizens. On the night of March 25th, Summer called the police over neighbors who were shooting guns in their yard, and some of the bullets hit the corner of her home. They were also playing very loud music and having a loud party. She had an altercation with the neighbors as well. She filed a complaint with the Harrison Police Department over the incident. Police came out and spoke with Summer and then spoke with the neighbors. The neighbors were extremely upset that someone new in their neighborhood would file a complaint against them. Summer called her mother, Donna, to come over and stay the night with her due to the incident. On March 26, in 2000, Kelly Holland called the police and requested a welfare check on his family. He said that he could not reach anyone inside the home. Police immediately dispatched a patrol car to the home, where they discovered the home ablaze. When the fire was subdued, they located 4 dead bodies: his wife Summer, his mother-in-law Donna, and their 2 children, Dylan and Marissa, all deceased. Dylan was found between a bed and a wall. There were scratch marks on the wall showing he tried to escape but was overcome with smoke. Kelly arrived sometime later and dropped to his knees when authorities informed him of the homicides. When autopsies were performed, it was discovered that both Summer and Donna were shot with a 9mm handgun, and the 2 children died of smoke inhalation. When police began their investigation, at first they questioned Kelly, but his alibi seemed to check out, and he handed over his clothes for testing. And he also had no guns. So they moved on looking for other possible suspects. They interviewed neighbors and Summer's ex-boyfriends. All had airtight alibis and couldn't possibly be involved. Not long after, a phone call came into the police station advising the investigators that a fellow guardsman in Kentucky loaned Kelly a 9mm handgun just before the murders. He told the friend he needed to kill some wild dogs getting into his yard. This turned the whole investigation around. Police took a second look at his alibi and determined that he could possibly slip out without being noticed from work. And the testing from Kelly's clothes came back that traces of accelerant was found on them. He claimed that he had gotten gas on them when he was burning trash, but police were not buying his story. Police decided to give him a polygraph test. It was determined that he was being deceptive. Kelly told authorities he wasn't saying anything else. However, while riding with authorities back to the police station, he told them to pull over and he would give a full account of the crime. He told them that he and Summer, although newly married, were having a rough time. He claims he returned home with a gun with the intentions of killing himself. He said he didn't mean to shoot his wife, and he doesn't remember shooting his mother-in-law. He remembers setting the fire, but figured someone would notice the fire in time to call police and the fire department. Kelly Holland was arrested and charged with 4 counts of murder and attempted arson. His trial began on April 1st in 2001. Holland ended up taking a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. He would receive life in prison without the possibility of parole, as long as he gave a full accounting of the murders. In his account, he claimed that money and marital issues mixed with his mental disorder pushed him into an agitated emotional state. He said he initially wanted to rekindle his marriage that night. The judge dismissed his account of what happened that night. He told Holland, "Your acts that night are critical and you will pay for them." Kelly Holland was sentenced to life without parole and is serving out his sentence at the Indiana State Prison in Michigan City, Indiana. Roger Holland, age 37, served as a Texas National Guard member. He served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Roger met Marjorie, age 37, while the two were working for the National Guard. The couple became romantically involved and married in 2010. The two moved to Apple Valley, Minnesota, when they discovered that Marjorie was pregnant. She wanted to be near her family, who also lived in Minnesota. At first, the marriage was great, but soon Marjorie discovered that Roger was lying about his high-paying job, and she lost trust in him. She began contemplating divorce. On March 7th in 2013, 911 received a call that a woman was unresponsive. They immediately dispatched ambulances and police to the scene, where they found Marjorie Holland unconscious at the bottom of the stairs. Marjorie was rushed to Fairview Regis Hospital, where she and her unborn baby were pronounced dead at 11:30 a.m. She was 15 weeks pregnant. When Roger Holland was interviewed by the police, he said that they didn't have any financial issues and that their marriage was great. He claims he left to go get breakfast for his wife and returned home to find her unconscious and wrapped in a blanket at the bottom of the stairs. He said he rolled her over to perform CPR, then called 911. At first, police believed this to be a tragic accident. However, when the autopsy of Marjorie Holland came back, it showed her thyroid cartridge broken, a clear indicator of strangulation. Also, she had hemorrhaging of the eyes and neck muscle, as well as abrasions all over her body. A black eye was forming, and a fingernail had broken off. The medical examiner said her injuries were suggestive of being forcefully throttled in a struggle, then strangled. Her manner of death was listed as homicide. Also, after searching the home, police discovered that Roger searched the internet for terms such as if someone could break a neck if they passed out at the top of the stairs. Police also found that Marjorie was looking for a way out of the marriage, and even researching a possible abortion. But Roger was not willing to let her go. According to their text messages, he did not want a divorce because it would destroy his reputation. Authorities also uncovered that the couple were heavily in debt, over $160,000 in debt, primarily due to Roger lying about his income. He also had been charging as an authorized user on Marjorie's credit cards without her knowledge. Investigators discovered that Marjorie just found out about the large amount of debt, and it was the final blow for her wanting a divorce. In one message between the couple, she confronts him about his spending on her credit cards. Then in another, he asked her how she felt, and she texted back, like, "I hate my life. I hate the man I married, and I wish I could erase the past 3 years." Roger also had fresh scratches on the side of his face that he claimed were due to his wife's abdominal cramping, and she accidentally scratched him in a moment of pain. Roger claimed he received a text from his wife while he was out getting breakfast. The text from his wife was sent at 9:29 a.m. and another one at 9:32 a.m. But when police checked the CCTV footage from the apartment building, it proved that Holland did not leave the apartment building until 9:34 a.m. to get breakfast that morning. Roger Holland was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Judge Edward Lynch set the bond at $1 million, but that was reduced to $750,000 when he agreed to surrender his passport and remain in Minnesota. Roger Holland has no previous criminal record, and there is no indication of any violence in the family before. Prosecutors asked for 2 life terms without parole to honor both lives lost. Roger Holland said he did not have the strength to speak during the trial or sentencing, but maintained his innocence throughout the trial. His defense attorney, Marsh Halberg, said his client would rather spend the rest of his life in prison than plead guilty to a crime he did not commit, and that he would declare his innocence until the day he dies. During the trial, prosecutor James Backstrom said the soldier fought to the end of her life to save herself and the life of her unborn baby. She will always be a hero in my book. Judge McManus sentenced Roger Holland to 2 life terms without the possibility of parole for the murders of his wife and unborn baby, who was to be named Olivia. He urged Holland to reflect on his silence and said, "If you did this, the only way you can save yourself is to acknowledge it, privately or publicly," said McManus. "There were 3 lives lost here: Marjorie Holland, the unborn child, and yours." During the sentencing, Marjorie's mother, Claudia Jones, said, "With the total absence of honor, integrity, and wisdom, and malice, mental abuse, and manipulations, my daughter Marjorie and my granddaughter Olivia are dead." Marjorie's stepmother, Barbara Brown, told the judge, March 7th in 2013 brought with it more than just an ordinary day. This is the day murder conceived within our family. Now a little more than 9 months later, when we should be sharing the joyful news of a birth of our granddaughter, we instead are announcing justice has been birthed instead. Marjorie's family have vowed to make it their life mission to reach out to others to share where it's needed in order that Marjorie's voice continues to be heard and her life will not have been in vain. Marjorie Holland's funeral services were held at Our Savior Lutheran Church in Faribault, Minnesota, on March 14th in 2013. She was given a military burial. She was laid to rest at Maple Lawn Cemetery. Kelly Holland murdered his wife and mother-in-law, then set fire to his home with his 2 stepchildren inside. He was a psychopathic monster who deserves to spend every day locked away until the last breath leaves his body. Roger Holland lied to his wife about having a high-paying job and ran up huge credit card debt in her name. He was a master manipulator. When she was sick of the lies and ready to end it, he murdered her, and then their unborn baby died as a result. He was a monster. May the victims in both cases rest in peace. That concludes this episode. Keep your eye out for the next volume, coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.
Want to help support the channel you love and get something in return? Simply purchase some Elizabeth's Chronicles merch. We have coffee mugs, t-shirts, sweatshirts, cozy blankets, beach towels, phone covers and more. Use the coupon code EC10OFF4U and get 10% off your order. The link to order is in the description area below this video. Thanks for helping Elizabeth's Chronicles continue to make the videos you love.